Thank you for tuning into Sacred Empowerments, Divine Feminines. You know, many of us have dealt with being misjudged, being misunderstood. Many of us have dealt with um, people in our lives who took our presence, our love, our support, our nurturing for granted. There's a lot of people in your past timeline, in your past life, before your awakened self, before this moment this season that you are getting ready to enter into. There are people in your past timeline who are now beginning, just now, after you showed up to them in a way that was loving, caring, supportive. They're just now starting to see you for who you really are. They're just now starting to see that you were actually sent into their life to be a help to them, that you were divinely placed in their life to help aid them, to help strengthen them, to speak words of encouragement to them, to love them, right? For some of you, you were divinely sent to guide them, to lift them up out of the pit that they had found themselves in. You know, these people are just now starting to see you for the help, the divine help that you actually were. They're starting to take notice of your spiritual wisdom. They're starting to take notice that you just may know what you're talking about. They're starting to take notice at how divinely guided and protected and provided for you are. They're starting to take notice of the light that you hold, of just how deep your love ran, of how pure your love is. Somebody in your life, whether it be one, two, or three, or even more than that, but there's somebody in your life who is now starting to take notice of you. And yes, of course, if they haven't said it yet, just keep living. They want to spin the block on you. They want to see if they can rekindle whatever it was, whether it was a friendship, whether it's a business partnership, whether it was a marriage that went wrong, whether it's a family ship and a close family bond, whether it was a best friend, whether it was co-workers, people from old jobs may want to offer you your job back after they ran your name through the mud and fired you for no reason. They're just now starting to see just how blessed their life was when you were in it. They're just now starting to get it, that you were, I don't like the word luck, but you were the lucky charm. You were the door opened. You were the protection. You were the provision. Your presence, your energy comes with a lot of goodness. Your energy comes with a lot of light. You could have had, close friends, close girlfriends, and you were that girlfriend of the friend group that was able to see things a mile off, see people trying to prey on your friends a mile off. You were the one telling your good girlfriends, no, I don't think you should do that because I don't trust their spirit. I don't like the way they act. I don't like the way they treat you. You were the one giving them and raising their standard. And for whatever reason, you had to pull away. And since you pulled away from that friend group, folks have gotten into relationships they shouldn't been in. Folks is going through domestic violence, unfortunately. Folks is going through being cheated on. Folks is going through having illegitimate babies. Folks is going through divorces because they got into things that they didn't have the insight, the intuition to see. And because you were no longer around, because you were the eyes, you were the spiritual eye of the friend group. And since you pulled yourself away, things have not gone so well. Things have not gone so smoothly. Things that you would have seen, that you would have been able to protect your good homegirl from by just telling her, maybe you shouldn't do that. I don't trust that one. I don't trust this. Not saying she had to do what you said, but now they're starting to see that you are divinely gifted with an intuition that cannot be negated, that cannot be ignored, that cannot be denied. You have a spiritual gift to intuit. You have a spiritual gift to read the room. You have a spiritual gift to know when it's time to get out of Dodge. You have the spiritual gift to protect those who you love, to nurture those who you love, to provide spiritual insight to those whom you love. And for whatever reason, they chose to take you and everything that comes with you for granted. But now they're starting to see it. They talked about you behind your back, how weird you was, how eccentric you are. And they didn't mean that in any way, because the word eccentric is not necessarily a negative word, but they didn't mean it in any way positive. They talked about how strange you were. They talked about how you always talking about God, and you always talking about loving on the Lord, and you always talking about honoring the ancestors. You always talking about consciousness and awareness and opening up your eye and meditation and wear this crystal and burn this sage and clean out your house. You're always talking weirdness to them. They talked about it. Yes, they did. You knew it though. They see you now for the caring connection that you are. And you have taken your time for yourself in the last year, 2, 3 years, 6 months to recharge your batteries. And in your absence, they see now what it's like to not have you there to remind them to go within, to remind them to raise their vibrations, to remind them to elevate their thinking. They see now what it feels like in the void of your presence. To not have that intuitive person, that intuitive eye in the friend group that can help us to dodge this situation and that situation. They felt like you was nosy and putting your nose in places that it didn't belong before, but now they miss that guidance. They miss you speaking up, being the mystic, being the healer, being the prophetess that you are, being the oracle that you are, being the wise one. They miss you speaking up. Now they celebrating it. Now they celebrating you. Now they celebrating you because in the void of your absence, while you've been recharging your battery, while you've been caring for yourself, they don't have anybody else that they can turn to that can give them divine insight. They don't have anybody else that they can turn to that will remind them that there are deeper things to observe, to learn, to grow in. They don't have anybody that can speak words of encouragement to their spirit and shift their whole perspective. So now they're going through all of these different situations, all these different circumstances, and they got to figure it out on their own. You are now being seen as a helpmeet to many people who didn't want to allow you to help them. You were always sent by your spirit team into their lives to actually help them. You don't never mean any harm, but you have to be who you are. right? And you don't need for them to validate who you are. But now, your absence has validated to them who you are, because it can be felt. The quietness, the silence is loud. It's loud. Now that you're screening your calls and you don't answer on every call because you're tired of hearing about Pookie, when you done already gave your good girlfriend the information she needed to know about Pookie? How many spiritual baths do I have to help walk you through for you to realize that he is the problem? How many times do I have to come in your home and sage it for you? How many crystals do I have to bequeath to you for you to see that it's Pookie? Now I'm screening my calls because you don't want my help. You just want to drain me. I have to recharge. And in your absence, while you have been recharging, they are starting to see that you were absolutely right about Pookie. Pookie don't mean me no good. Pookie didn't never mean her no good. Pookie ain't never gonna mean you no good. Your silence is loud. Your absence is felt. And this may not even be a situation where you pulled away because you just don't want to fool with them no more. This might not be that. This is just you doing what divine feminists do and self-caring, self-nurturing, taking a vacation, taking a break, recharging, sitting before your spirit team, listening to the mother, getting some instructions, being strengthened, being poured into. Because see, your help doesn't come from actually anybody out of the friend circle, out of the family, off the job. Your help doesn't even really most times come from your spouse. Now he may help, she may help with the earthly shit. But when it comes to the divine help, you have to actually go to the divine. See, you don't have a mediator. You don't have a mediator. You have to go actually sit in the presence of the Lord. You have to go sit in the presence of soul and spirit. You have to go sit at the feet of the mother. You have to go sit and listen and be cared for by the divine beings that you walk with, work with, and that aid and guide you. You are a help to many people. You have tried to be. And many of them have taken that for granted. But now, in your absence, in your silence, they see just how rich your spirit is. It's almost undefinable how rich your spirit is. You're a visionary, you're a creative, you're a teacher, you're a friend, you're a mother, you're a lover. You are loaded with goodness. You are a corrector. And it's not your fault that some people don't see correction as goodness. People have a weird definition for what love is supposed to be. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, that love is not without correction. If you love me and you see me going wrong and you don't say anything, you don't try to pull me out of the way, off the track of the train that's coming. You see me about to get slapped wide open and you don't say nothing, then where, how do you love me? And some people don't understand that love is not void of correction. And so because they arrogance, Their pride and their ego doesn't want to receive correction. They will demonize the light worker who comes to shine light on shadows. They will demonize, they will villainize the person who speaks up with divine insight, information, and divine guidance. They will villainize you for trying to help them, and they have. But in your absence, in your silence, they see your worth and how valuable you actually are. Now, whatever choice you choose to make as to whether you're going to remain in said connections or whether you need to just move into a, you know what, I can't deal with this no more type situation. I am moving into a new timeline and so on and so forth. And certain ones can't go. Whatever spirit guides you to do, that is between you and spirit. But I am here to confirm for you that you are not crazy. You are not foolish. You are not problematic. It is not you. It is the people that you are being sent to, being so full of themselves that they will project on you that you are arrogant and you are full of yourself and you think you know everything and you can't tell me what to do. See, they will project on you that you have the issue. You are a divine being sent here on this earth to do exactly what you're doing, which is to wake up the people that are around you. Everybody you come in contact with can see your light. There's a reason for that, because that's what they're supposed to see. That's what they're supposed to see. Now, what they do with it after they see it is completely and 100% on them. They have the choice to receive the insight, the guidance, the love, the caring, the support, the shoulder to cry on. They can receive it or not. That is 100% on them. But Spirit is telling me to tell you, don't dim your light at all for nobody. You are exactly who you are at the time you're supposed to be it. When you hear to say something, when you receive intuition, when you receive insight, when you are being told to say something, say it, whether they receive it or not. Because in that moment, they may not. It may be 5 or 6 months. It may be 5 or 6 years before what you said is actually receivable to them. But if you don't say it, then they won't have anything later on to remember, to recall, to pull up. Because they don't forget it. They don't forget. Right? Don't dim your light. Don't dim your light. And know that most of your connections are divine connections because of who you are. Your spirit team don't just allow you to just have friends and stuff for friends' sake, and have a man for a man's sake, and have a husband for a husband's sake, and have children for children's sake. And you're not one of those zombies, one of those dead gone to sleep, walking around like they're not conscientious of their soul and spirit. That's not you. You have some people out here, most of the world is out here on autopilot. Like a zombie. But that's not you. You are very much alive. You are very much soul and spirit. You're very much divine. But now they see you. People from your old timeline are going to try to come back and see if they can replug into you. Whatever you hear from spirit is what you do. I can't tell you what you do. Because people will say, oh, that's old from an old timeline, and that, but you never know what your absence and what the value you hold, the impact you have made. Everybody's not on the same timeline to begin with, right? So when you come into a person's life, when they are going to be capable and ready to receive, it's different. It's different for everybody. This is why you have to be spiritually led, particularly when people from an old timeline do want to plug back into you, because maybe they hear you now. Maybe they genuinely hear you now. Maybe they see the value in themselves because of you now. It's up to you, it's up to spirit. But these people that you have been moving away from, recharging, being absent from, they're starting to see exactly how much of a caring connection they had with you. So keep being the light that you are. And know that despite how a person shows up to you in response to your light, know that your light is important. You are important. You are valued by your spirit team and by everybody who walks, aids, and guides you. You are valued. The change, the difference you are making in people's lives is being seen and celebrated in other dimensions and realms. You are impactful and you are influential, Divine Feminine. Continue to be the Divine Feminine that you are. Continue to be the Divine Feminine that you are. This has been Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. Thank you so much, my sister, for tapping in. I hope that something was said to you to confirm, edify, uplift, and encourage you. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share the page, and I greatly appreciate all of your support. I love you all, and I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.